Hey guys, good evening. Happy Friday. Let me make sure my audio is working really quickly. Okay, looks like it's working. Do me a favor and check in. I'm going to also go live on TikTok. Where's the live button on TikTok? Go live. Let me see. Let me hit the go live button on TikTok. Go live. All right, so I am live on TikTok as well. So let me make this a little bit smaller so I can see both. Let's see. Click here. Okay, so now I can see both. Good evening, guys. Happy Friday. Shout out to my members on YouTube. Also, shout out to TikTok. I am live on Medical Assistant with Miss K on TikTok. Make sure you guys that are following me on Facebook and YouTube, make sure you guys check me out on TikTok as well, because a lot of you guys are following me on my personal TikTok, but I want you guys to follow me on Medical Assistant with Miss K as well. Let's see. Hey, is that so wasted? Hey, so wasted. Hey, Andrea from Virginia. Oh, James. Echo James with another joke. Okay, James, let's see. James says, what did the optimistic blood cell say to the pessimistic blood cell? Be positive. I'm loving it. Thank you, James. That's a good. You always got some good jokes. Where you get these jokes from, James? Because they always funny. Hey, Monique. Monique says, hey, I'm new here. Welcome, Monique. I'm glad you are here. I am just live to just check in, just to see if you guys have any questions. This is just something that I do. I try to do it weekly, at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. So I just come in, see how you guys are doing, see who's getting ready for certification, answer any questions if I can. So I'm glad you were able to catch me live. Oh, congratulations, Christy. Christy says, thank you for your videos. I just passed my CMAA exam. Yes, let me do this. I don't know if you guys can hear that over there, the applause that I just did on TikTok. Let me do it over here so I can make sure my Facebook and my YouTube people can hear it. Hold on, let me. Congratulations to Christy and everybody else who has recently passed your certification. Congrats to all of you. Oh, okay. Somebody else from Facebook says they passed. Ms. Nina says, thank you so much for helping me pass my CCMA. You are so welcome. Congratulations. You guys are so welcome. Absolutely. John Tay says, I'm currently studying for my, I'm assuming you mean in CCMA. It says COM. I'm assuming you mean in CCMA. I'm currently studying for my CCMA exam. Andrea said, can you tell me what videos to watch as I take my test next week? So it depends. So if you are, well, you're taking your test next week. So I would say start with maybe the most recent ones, only because most of those are open-ended. And because you're about to take your test, you want to make sure you know the information. So watch the open-ended videos, test yourself, see what you can answer. Because I always say if you can answer open-ended questions, then you really know the information. So watch the most recent ones, and then of course take notes on things that you are seeing for the first time, things that you didn't know. Make sure you're taking notes as you're watching them. Also, Andrea and anybody else that's about to take the test, make sure you have the test plan downloaded. You should have the test plan for whatever test you're taking downloaded, so you could use it as a checklist for everything you know. And then everything you didn't check off or highlight because you don't know it, then you go back to your study material to get that information. I figured you meant CCMA, Jonte. Good luck. James says, what specific advice do you have studying for the phlebotomy cert exam? Mine is around. So same thing, James. Make sure you have the test plan. If you're depending on who you're taking it through, just go to that site, or you can simply go to Google and look up the test plan for the test you're taking. Use it as a guide. Make sure you're checking off everything that you know. Everything you don't know, you go back to your study material to find the answer. Because the thing about the test plan, guys, is telling you literally everything you need to know for the test. So there's no way you haven't gone over what's going to be on the test. The goal is to have the entire test plan checked off, right, or highlighted. And then, of course, for those of you that's about to take your test, on the day of your test, make sure when you're doing your test, you are checking up, make sure you, I was about to say checking off, going back to the test plan. Make sure you are flagging questions that you need to spend time on. So anything you need to think about, flag those questions and come back to it at the end. Flag it. Sometimes it may even say bookmark it or flag it and come back to it at the end. Hi, Sally on TikTok as well. I see Tori. Casey on YouTube says hi. Hey to you, Casey. You're welcome, Andrea. Chris says my first language is not English. Also, I take the class for CCMA English. Have my test next Friday, and I'm so nervous. OMG, help! Would you recommend you have a study guide? So I do have a study guide. I will link it in the comments right now. I have an online refresher course. And speaking of that, I just had a young lady pass who also said that English is not her first language. So let me tell you something. You can still pass. I've had students who the same thing. English was not their first language. So, you can pass. Samar, I don't know if she's on here tonight. She's probably not, because normally she checks in, but she just took my MA refresher course and she just passed her test this week or last week. And I just put it in the chat for you, Chris, my MA refresher course. Make sure you get the clinical one. You don't need both, just the clinical one, because it has clinical and administrative questions and content on there. But I just share that to say you can pass. I've had many students. I don't know to what extent, you struggle with English. So I'm not going to make you any promises, but I just share that to say that I've had several students, and also just recently, Samar, who just shared that she just passed and English is not her first language. Tori on TikTok says, I had my test on A7. I'm very nervous. Listen, I get it, Tori. I was just sharing on with my YouTube and Facebook people to make sure you have the test plan, Tori. So whatever test you're about to take, you look up the test plan. You can easily go to Google. So let's just say it's a CCMA. You just go to Google, look up CCMA test plan, use it as a guide. So everything you already know that's on the test plan, you check it off. Whatever you don't know, go back to your study material. Also, if anybody needs a study guide, marefreshercourse.com. I'm not able to, I don't know if the link is clickable on TikTok, but I'll put it in the comments just in case. I don't know if it's clickable though. I think you have to just copy it. So if anybody needs a study guide, I have that as well. Let me see if I can pin it. So I just pinned the comment. Gabby on TikTok says, I passed my CCMA. Congratulations. She said, I got hired today in cardiology at the hospital. Wow. She said, at the hospital I currently work at. I couldn't have done it without your videos. I am so proud of you, Gabby. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. Congratulations. So she passed her CCMA and she just got hired today, y'all. Gabby just got hired today. Let me see. Let me. There you go, Gabby. Congratulations. Tori says CCMA. Okay, I've been watching videos and I have your stuff. Oh, you have my study guide. Oh, okay. You got okay, and NHA. You well equipped then. Okay. All right then. Okay, Tori. Let me know if you need anything reset. So if anybody that's watching, you have my refresher course, anything you need reset, of course, you can always just send me an email. I hate that you can't reset it yourself. I wish you could. I've already complained to the platform about that, but hopefully if they get enough complaints, they'll change it. You're welcome. You're welcome, Gabby. Melissa says, I'm not a good test taker. Do you have any advice? Yes. So I did a video a little while back on people who are anxious, who get anxious when it's time to take a test. So one of the things that I recommend doing when you're doing your practice test is to create a fake, create an atmosphere like you're really taking a test. This is going to help you because it's going to put you in a mindset that you're already there. So put away your phone, set a timer, have someone to pretend to be your proctor. And really, when you're taking your practice test, act like you're actually taking a test. When you simulate that testing environment, it's going to help you with your nerves because when people struggle to take the test, it's really the atmosphere that makes you nervous because you probably do well any other time. But then when it comes to taking your test, that's when you struggle, especially for those of you who do well, who do very well with your hands on, even your assignments. And then when it comes to taking a test, you struggle. So just try that. And then of course, breaking it down into chunks, right? What you're going to study, because sometimes studying too much at one time can become overwhelming. So I really think creating a testing environment is going to be the biggest thing that's going to help, because it's going to put you're not going to have no choice but to feel those feelings and then try to work through it. Because when you're going to take the test on the actual day, you're going to feel those feelings, but you won't be able to do anything about it because you're there. But at least if you can create it, let yourself feel those feelings, and then figure out a way to work through it, then I really feel like that's going to be one of the most helpful things for you to do, and anybody else who gets super anxious when it comes to taking the test. Jennifer says, I was supposed to take my test this past Tuesday, but had some technical difficulties, so they had me were you taking it at home? Taking it at home. I'm assuming you were taking it at home proctored. Any type of technical difficulty, they will reschedule you. Did you have to pay again, or did they reschedule before you even started? Do you have a study guide for what's Sharon? Let me know which study guide you're actually talking about, because you said CCAA. Are you meaning the CMAA or the CCMA? Let me know. Type that again for me, Sharon. Either way, I have check out and Melissa, check out the video. Go to my channel and go to the playlist and you're a member, Melissa. Do me a favor, Melissa. You're a member. Email me at khartcpr@gmail.com. So guys, this is one of the benefits of being a member on my YouTube channel. Email me and I'm going to go from there and let you know from there. But send me an email, Melissa. Sharon, let me know exactly which one you're meaning, but I'm going to put it. Oh, administrative. Okay. So I'll put, that's the clinical one. So Sharon, if you go to www.marefreshercourse.com, click on the administrative one, because the one that I put a link to, that's the clinical one. So just go to marefreshercourse.com. I'll put it in there. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for fixing that, because I couldn't tell if you meant CMAA or CCMA. So yeah, make sure you click the administrative one. And guys, when you guys are getting my course, please just buy one. Please just buy one, because I can't tell you how many times I have to send refunds because people are buying both of them and realizing they only needed one. If you're taking the administrative test, you need the administrative course. If you're taking the clinical test, you need just the clinical one, because clinical has both clinical and administrative content. You will never need both. So don't ever buy both courses. You never need both. You either need one or the other. Clinical has both clinical and administrative. Administrative only has administrative. Sharon says, how do you become a member? When you go to my channel, it says join. And Melissa, the reason why I told you to email me was because, and I can just mention it here, still email me, but I'll just mention it here for anybody else who may be watching and maybe considering becoming a member. I want to start going live just for the members at least once a week, especially for people like you who are trying to get ready for the test and you need a little bit more extra help. I went live the other day for just the members, but nobody showed up. So I said, let me just figure out a day that is just a standing day, maybe every week or every other week, that I just go live for the members, so you guys know, so you can show up, because I want you to benefit from being a member. Like everybody becomes a member to get some extra time with me. So I want to make sure you get that. So Melissa and anybody else on YouTube that's a member, make sure you are looking out. Make sure your notifications are on so you can see when I'm live, just for you guys. And then also, I think I'm going to start going live just for you guys, maybe on Thursdays. I know I can't satisfy everybody, but I'm thinking about Thursday evenings going live just for the members. Andrea said that's the one at $27. So the clinical one is $27. The administrative one is $19.99, Andrea. So the administrative one is $19.99. Clinical is $27. Jennifer says, yes, I was taking it home. It was such a headache. They waived the fee and just had me reschedule, but everything was a long process. I'll be taking it to the testing center. Thank you for sharing that. So I want to mention this. So Jennifer said she was taking a test at home and she had technical difficulty, so she had to reschedule. And it was a long process. Now she's taking it at the testing center. This is one of the reasons why I do not recommend taking your test at home. I know it's convenient for many people. I do not recommend it unless you absolutely have to. I know some people do. Thank you for the flowers on TikTok, LaRonda. Thank you. I know some people, you know, you have to take it at home, and I get that. But the thing about taking it at home, any little thing, they will cut you off. Some people even have to pay again. If they would have started your test, Jennifer, you would have had to reschedule and pay all over again. We had a student taking it at school in the office. My program coordinator walked by, they cut it off. They do not play when you take it from home. If you have to, again, I get it. But if you can, go to a testing center so you don't have to worry about them cutting it off, because you're taking it from home, they're strict. They want to make sure you're not cheating. So any type of glitch, anything, any noise, and you can have a pet. Your dog can be barking too loud. Anything, your cat might run past. Whatever the case, they will cut it off. Shout out to, let me see how you pronounce it. Shout out to, I'm just going to say Mary, because I don't want to pronounce that wrong. So shout out to Mary for becoming a YouTube member. So Mary, look out for that. I'm going to be going live on Thursdays just with you guys. No Call ID says, I've been watching your videos, finally caught it live. Hey, No Call ID, I'm glad you caught it. Planning on taking my CCMA next month. I want to join. Feel free to do so. So for those of you that want to know how to join, just go to YouTube. It'll say join. Okay, Melissa said I emailed you. Perfect. Okay, Melissa, I'll check that. What time is it? 9:30. If I don't check it tonight, I'll look at it tomorrow, because I'm taking my daughter to get her hair done. So that'll be my time where I can catch up on emails and stuff anyway. So some of you guys know my daughter is about to have a baby. Miss K is becoming a grandma. So she is 9 months now, and we are going to get her labor braids. For those of you who have kids and y'all got braids right before you had your babies, you know what I mean by the labor braids. So I'm taking her tomorrow to get her hair done. So I'll have some time to kind of sit back and catch up on some things. Hey, Sean, is that Shantanette? Oh, congratulations, LaRonda on TikTok. She says, I passed my CCMA last week. Congratulations. And thank you for the follow too. Thank you for following me. For those of you on TikTok that's on the live, make sure you guys follow me. Oh, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, follow me on TikTok, guys. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers on TikTok so I can share my links in my bio. I cannot share links in my bio until I get to 1,000 followers on TikTok. So make sure y'all follow me. Oh, they saying congratulations. Thank y'all. I'm excited. I feel like, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited now. But yeah, make sure you guys follow me on TikTok. So I'm trying to get to 1,000 so I can start sharing my links in my bio. Because before you get to 1,000 followers on TikTok, you can put it on there, but you can't make it so people can click on it. So thank you guys that's been following me. Britannica says, recently passed my NHA for CCMA. Congratulations, scheduled to take the CMA. I know that's right. You better stock those credentials. Britannica said, look, I just got my CCMA. I'm about to take my CMA as well. That is awesome. And I recommend it. Stock your credentials, guys. So when you get one certification, don't stop there. Get as many as you can. Do me a favor, YouTube. Make sure y'all liking the video as well. 16 of y'all, only 2 likes. Let's see. Thank you for helping me get certified. You gotta go. Oh, thank you, Nikki. Thank you so much. And congratulations on getting certified. Let me see. Oh, Nas, I'm sorry, I missed your comment. I failed my seat. I got a 384. I was scheduled with you. Oh, you were close. So that means you know the information. When you guys don't pass and you get that close, you know what that means? That means you know the information. You fell short somewhere. So when that happens, guys, just look at your test plan to see exactly where you fell short. Go back to the study material and double down on studying that information. Thank you for the love on TikTok. Britannica sent a heart. Gabby sent a rose. Thank you, guys. Make sure you you double down on studying those areas. Oh, TikTok, it's the same name. Somebody asked what's your name on TikTok. So TikTok is the same name at Medical Assisting with Miss K. I'm the same name on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Now, I've had some fake pages created on TikTok and Facebook, and you'll know that it's not me because, first of all, I think I have a check mark. I know I have a check mark on Instagram. I think I have a check mark on Facebook as well. But the fake page on Facebook says medical assistant with Miss K. I am medical assisting. They took my pictures and everything. I'm trying to get the page removed, but that's a whole other thing. She says, thank you for having me get closer. Said I need more foundation. Okay, good. So you already looked at yourself. Okay, perfect. Do you have my refresher course? If so, let me know if you need me to reset anything and I will. Let's see. And shout out to Gabby on TikTok, still hanging in there with me. Gabby is still on here. Thank you, Gabby, for hanging in there with me on TikTok. It's a few other people still watching as well, but I just mentioned Gabby because she has been on here since I got on. Jennifer says, yes, just go to the testing center. Now I'll take my exam on A4. I guess more time to study. Yeah, you know what, Jennifer, that's a good way to look at it. So Jennifer had to take her test again. She had to reschedule and she said more time to study. So that is a great way to look at it. That is so good, Jennifer. Hello, Miss K. Ebru from Johns Creek. Hello, Ebru. I have a question between derm and ortho. Which one would you pick? It depends on what you want to do. I've heard derm, a lot of people like dermatology. I've never worked in dermatology or ortho, but it depends on what you want to do. You want to deal with the skin or you want to deal with bones and joints. So it just kind of depends. With ortho, you probably want to be assisting with, wrapping, probably going to be assisting with what else are they doing over there in ortho? They, depending on if it's an orthopedic surgeon, you may be assisting with getting the patient preps and, maybe some referrals. I'm not sure. I've never worked in ortho or dermatology. I will look up some videos, Ebru, on some of or even not even necessarily just videos, but just some information on how what type of things medical assistants do in derm and ortho and just kind of compare. Because I've never worked in derm or ortho. But a lot of people like dermatology. Let's see. Thank you, Melissa. Hey, Miss K. Ryo the Mighty says, hey, Miss K, I have my CCMA exam coming up next week. Good luck to you, Ryu, and everybody else that's about to take your test. Hi, Adriana says, hi, everyone. I took my test. I took my exam with PSI. They said it would be 24 to 48 hours from then. Listen, we are going to speak, Adriana, that you passed. So we are looking forward to hearing that you passed. Nyla says, okay. Nyla says, I have a question. My exam date is on July 30th. I'm trying to see, should I reschedule because I'm really stressed out? So that's a good question because some people absolutely should reschedule, but then some people are just nervous. So it's hard to say, Nyla. I will tell you this. I had a lady who I helped pass certification who had rescheduled multiple times because she had really bad testing anxiety. And somebody like her, she should not have kept rescheduling. She was just anxious about it, but I just felt like she just needed to just go take it. Eventually she took it and she passed, right? But then if you really know for sure that you need some more time, meaning you have looked at the study plan, the testing plan for the test you're going to take, and you realize you don't know anything on it, or you don't know the majority of what's on it, then yeah, I will reschedule. But it's hard to say. If you're just nervous, but you know the information, I would say just get it over with. So it just kind of depends, guys. So if anybody's wondering the same thing, whether they should reschedule or, is it just stress? I can't say for you. It's hard to say because I've seen it both ways. I've seen students who absolutely needed to reschedule. So I would say this, Nyla, and anybody else, if you haven't already, download the test plan. If you're taking a CCMA, go to Google, look up CCMA or whatever test you're taking. If you realize that test plan, you're looking at it and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know any of this. Then you may need to reschedule. But if you look at it and you're like, wow, I know most of this, I'm good. I feel comfortable with this. My practice test, I've been doing great. Especially, that's another thing too. Look at how you've been doing in your practice test, Nyla. Are you getting, are you consistently getting, high 80s and 90s, right? How are you doing with that? So that's what's going to determine, because I can't even say. I don't want to tell you to reschedule, and it's really just an anxiety thing, and I don't want to tell you not to, and you really need to. So, yeah, it's just going to kind of depend. So think about what I just said, Nyla, and anybody else who's wondering the same. I definitely don't want you to put it off too long, because you're going to forget the information. Kmart says, can you make more phlebotomy content? Absolutely, yes. That's actually on my plan. Thank you for mentioning that, Kmart. I do want to make more phlebotomy content. Thank you for asking and reminding me of that. I do. I can, because I do want to. Ebru says, Miss K, also another question. I didn't do externship because my school arranged an urgent care after 2 months. Now I got positive interview with ortho, so I don't know, should I go to job or do externship? I love this question. Ebru wants to know, should I do the job or should I do the externship? If you are offered a job, take the job. So I have gotten this question before, because I've had some people who went to a medical assistant school and they did not have an externship included. And they always say, Miss K, should I go for an externship or should I go for a job? I would say an externship if you feel like you need more practice, right? If you feel like I don't care if it's free, I'm not getting paid, I just need some hands-on, then you go to externship. But you have a job offer, Ebru, so you take that job. You take that job because you're going to learn on the job. You don't need the externship. You are going to learn on the job, and congratulations on the job. But if you have a choice between the two and you have a job offer, absolutely take the job. Like I said, the only exception is if you don't have a job offer and you feel like you just feel like you need that hands-on practice. Let me come over here. Hey, Nene, thank you for coming back. Nene on TikTok. Shout out to Nene on TikTok, coming back to another one of my lives. Angelise on TikTok says, I'm attending a program that offers an exit exam for CMA. Is that state certified? An exit exam? I'm guessing you're just mentioning the CCMA exam. So she said, is that state certified? So I want to remind you guys that certification for medical assistant is not state specific. It is a national certification. All of them are national certifications, and they are not state specific. So when you guys, I think a lot of times people are thinking about having a license, like nurses are licensed, doctors are licensed, right? If you are a certified medical assistant, whatever certification you have, you can go work anywhere with that certification. It is not like a license where you have to be, licensed in a specific state to work there. They said they are state permitted to give the test. Oh, that just means okay, that just means the school is state approved. That's just what that is. So what Angelise is referring to when she said the school said they're state permitted. So when it comes to medical assistant schools, you have schools that are accredited, and then you have schools that are state approved. So when they say state permitted to give the test, that means that the state has approved. They have gone through the process of getting approved through the state to administer that test. But it has nothing to do with your credentials. That just means that the school is state approved. And then you have schools that are accredited, meaning they're not only state approved, but they're accredited through one of the accrediting bodies like ABHAS. So hopefully that was able to help other people too who wondered the difference between being state approved or state permitted and accredited. But that has nothing to do with your certification. You're welcome, Angelise. Nyla says, that's me. I have testing anxiety. I know a little bit. I'm here. I got in a little bit, just making sure. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So if it's just a testing anxiety, then I would say, oh, she says I'm getting 85 and 90. So I will reconsider rescheduling. And this is the thing, Nyla, if you take it and you don't pass, you can just take it again. But if you know for sure it's just a testing anxiety that you have and you don't need to, like, it's not like you need more time to study, I would just go ahead and take it, and again, use the testing plan. Okay. and then see how you do as far as how much you were able to check off on the testing plan. But I wouldn't necessarily reschedule it unless you really needed more time to study. Thank you for sharing that, Nyla. Shayna, is that Shayna or Shauna? Says my test is on August 7th for NCCT. Which video of yours do I watch for the exact material? So the 7th, so you have what, about 2-3 more weeks? 2 more weeks. I would say, I just told somebody else, I would start with the most recent ones, maybe. Someone who has time, I would say just watch, you can start from wherever, the first one if you want. But because you're taking it within a couple of weeks, I would start with the most recent ones because they're open-ended. That's how you really test yourself, when you can answer an open-ended question. Oh, a suture removal. Yeah, thank you, Ebru. Yeah, ortho office does suture removal. Thank you. Splints, wrapping. Thank you, Ebru. But anyway, Shayna, so I would say watch the most recent ones. Watch the most recent videos. And they all ask the same type of question. So whether you're taking an NCCT, CCMA, RMA, they all ask the same type of content. I'm sorry, guys. Once I saw Ebru's comment, I got sidetracked. I think, I got sidetracked. But Ebru was mentioning some of the things you do in the ortho. Of course, suture removals, splints. Okay, let's see. So Ryu says, I got my eczema site recently and it's a cancer center. Any advice could you possibly share? I know they mainly have a lot of older patients. I've never worked in well, actually, I never worked in oncology. However, one of the cardiologists that I worked for, she was also an oncologist. So one day a week, she would see her oncology patients. So that's the extent that I've ever worked in oncology. And then working in a lab, we would get a lot of patients to come in, oncology patients to come in. They were really hard to draw. I will say that, a lot of the oncology patients. Just show them the same care you share any other patients, maybe sometimes a little more. Sometimes they can be fragile and very tired from chemo. A lot of times they're going to come in, one patient, she asked me if I wouldn't mind wearing a mask to protect her from me. And I did not mind at all. So now, not now, I don't work there anymore. But after that, whenever I would work with that doctor, that I would just automatically just wear a mask, just to, to protect myself, because her immune system is compromised. So we want to, try to protect them as much as we can. So like I said, same care, probably a little bit more. A lot of times they're fragile and tired. You can wear a mask. And then, of course, it's going to depend on one patient to another, because you have some patients who are, going to be a little bit more fragile, a little bit more sick than others. So it just depends. If there's anybody watching and you've worked in oncology, if you can offer any advice to Ryu, that will be awesome, because Ryu is about to start externship at a cancer center. So that will be awesome if anybody can offer any advice that's worked in oncology. No, says Miss K, when I took the test, my scrub shirt was soaking wet from sweat. Oh, wow. Okay. She said, no, I said, I guess I have test anxiety as well. Maybe so. If you say it was soaking wet, that probably so. It sounds like it. But at least with the areas you fell short. So I would focus on studying that information first. And then, before you take your test again, you can look at the other information. But I would focus on the area you fell short. The area in which you fell short. Is it closer to 24 or 48 for the results to come back through PSI? I know that's right, Adriana. She like, listen, I need to know. Honestly, I think it might be closer to the 24, because most people, they even though they say up to 48 hours, but then again, it's the weekend, Adriana. So I don't know. If it was in the middle of the week, I would say closer to 24, but I'm not sure. And that's the worst, having to wait the weekend. So hopefully you don't have to wait all weekend. But the fact that it's the weekend, just kind of maybe prepare for it just in case. Can you help me with EKG? Shanton hasn't helped me with EKG. I've seen some information and I get that part, but I'm sitting here and going over the information from my instructor. So Shantina and anybody else who struggle with EKG, go to my channel, my main channel. I have EKG videos on there. Okay. So if you just, when you search on Google, if you just do Miss K EKG, the videos will come up. Okay. I try to explain it as simple as possible, how it helps me. So hopefully that'll help you. And then also I go a little bit into more detail in my MA refresher course. I'll link that just again for you guys. I go into a little bit more detail. So if anybody needs a little bit more detail on any of the lessons, you can get my MA refresher course, and that'll probably help you as well. If you don't want to get the course, then you can just, like I said, look up Miss K EKG and you will see my EKG videos. I have a few videos on EKG. Also on my TikTok as well. I think I posted let me see if I posted the EKG video on my TikTok. I think I did. I know I have it on my main TikTok page. Let me see if I have it on my medical assistant with Miss K. I think I reposted it over there. Yeah, so Shantanette, if you want to, you can go to TikTok as well, same name as my YouTube channel, Medical Assistant with Miss K. You can try there, or you can just, if you want to see more than one video, then you can find the videos on YouTube. Edith says, thank you. I will take the job. Yes, absolutely. Edith says, hi, Miss K. I took my test last Saturday and I passed. Congratulations. You are welcome. You are so welcome. Andrea says, I already have a job where I'm doing both clinical and administrative. My job stated it was up to me to get certified. Should I still take my test? Absolutely. That is a really good question. Andrea says, my job said that it is up to me if I get certified or not. Should I still take my test? Absolutely. Because guess what? Even if you don't need certification now, you are going to need it in the future. Absolutely. Your company that you currently work for, they may not need it now, but they are probably going to require it in the future, or you may end up working somewhere that does require it. So I absolutely think you should, especially while it's still fresh since you recently finished school. Absolutely. 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 And even, we got acquired. So the company I work for now, we were a private office back in the day, and we got acquired. And guess what? That new company required everybody to be certified. So if you weren't already certified, you had to get certified. Hey, Lay, is that Lay Donner on TikTok? Says, what time do you normally go live? Child, I don't even know. Whenever I get a moment and I'm free, I just go live. Like I had some time, I recorded a couple of videos and I said, let me just go live and see if anybody has any questions. I have no set time. The only thing I can say is I just told my YouTube channel and Facebook that I am going to start going live for sure every week, every Thursday for my members on YouTube. That's the only one that I can commit to. But other than that, anything else, I just kind of go live when I can. I have so many other things going on. I can't even tell you guys. I'm sorry. Ashley says, I've been watching your videos on YouTube, prepping to take NHA. Okay, Ashley, good luck. Julie says, I passed. Congratulations, Julie. I passed my CCNA exam. Congratulations. Much love to you too. Thank you. Edith says, that's all I reviewed. And I know, I know that's right, Edith. Let me see if I can make this out. Sometimes these names are hard to make out, these usernames. So I'm just going to say LMH. Take an exam next Friday. Thank you for your videos. You are so welcome. Congratulations, Esther. Another person passed their test. Congratulations to everybody. No call ID says I'm watching CMA videos right now because I feel that's where I struggle with is insurance. So you have more videos on the body systems. No, I don't have a lot of videos on the body systems. I go over it in my refresher course on the anatomy module. That's about it. But I don't have a lot of videos on the body systems. But in my anatomy course, I go over each. But I think my medical terminology and anatomy is probably my longest module. Like that video is super long. So anybody that takes my MA refresher course and you get into that module, it is super long because the video is so long. Oh, you guys are talking to one another. Okay. My first language is not English, but it was okay. Thank you for offering it. I don't know if the person is still here, but someone was here early and they were sharing how nervous they are because English is not their first language. And I was just letting them know that you absolutely can still pass. So thank you for sharing that, Esther. Okay, I love that you guys are encouraging each other and talking back and forth to each other. I love it. So PSI will get the results in 24 hours, regardless of the weekend. So 24 to 48, and I'm not sure because it's the weekend. I'm not exactly sure, but some sites you'll get it right away, but then some you have to wait 24 to 48 hours. But because it's the weekend, I'm not sure. I would think maybe you have to wait a little longer. Let me see. Nini says, congratulations to everyone who passed. I know that's right, medical assistant expert. Shout out to the medical assistant expert. She says, period. I'm sending someone your way right now. They need a CCMA prep guy. Yes, thank you. And we still need to get together. So y'all, shout out to the medical assistant expert. A lot of you guys already know who she is. She was on my channel. I think it's been a while now. I think it's probably been almost 2 years now. But make sure you guys check her out on TikTok and Instagram. The medical assistant expert. Shout her out. I say shout her out. Check her out, y'all. She said, yes, I know. Boo, trust me, I haven't forgotten. I know, listen, it's been so busy. And I think I told you my daughter's about to have a baby, right? I think I told you that. She's 9 months now. So it's go time. We actually want to get her labor braids tomorrow. So yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot going on. And thank you for congratulating everybody, Mimi. 10 to tall says I've been a medical assistant at least. Oh, what? Medical assistant for 30 years? Wow, shout out to you. Is that 10 too tall H-Town on TikTok? Says I've been a medical assistant for 30 years. Y'all, listen, y'all, 30 years. I thought I was doing something with 20, 30 years. Wow. I could just imagine some of the stuff you have seen and endured and witnessed. Okay, the medical assistant expert says, come on now, OG. Yes, OG. We love to hear some of the stuff you have endured, some of the changes you've seen over the years, how medical assistant has changed since you started schooling. I would love to hear it. I learned, Ebro says I learned English 7 years ago and I passed with a 443 and I did everyone. And if I did, everyone can. Good luck. Thank you for sharing that, Ebro. Shout out to you guys in the chat for encouraging one another. And like Ebro said, Ebro first language is in English. Samal, who's usually on here, she also said the same thing. She was able to pass. So it is absolutely possible. Shay All Day on YouTube says, shout out to you from Dallas. Your videos are so helpful. I'm studying for the CCMA. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Let me see. TikTok. I'm glad you guys are chiming in on TikTok. OBGYN all the years, but 8 of those were urology. Oh, so you've been in OBGYN most of the time. Oh, wow. Zara the Doll says I watch all of your YouTube videos on my free time, just having your videos play. I know that's right, Zara. Ray says everybody is so encouraging. I'm almost done with my program and I have one more class. Yes, Ray, you are almost at the finish line. I'm pretty sure you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You are almost there. Now it is time to start getting ready for certification. One thing I want to remind you guys of is my MA refresher course. Once I get to 1,000 followers on TikTok, I will be able to share a clickable link in my bio. But for now, I can only pin it as a comment and you can copy and paste it. I've already put it in the chat on YouTube and Facebook, but it is for anybody that's preparing for certification. Anybody who needs a refresher, maybe you've been an MA for a long time and you need to get certified, it is for you. Or maybe you've been doing MA work but never went to school. It is also for you. Let's see. What else? I passed. Oh, you already passed. Oh no, that was okay. I was getting Ray and Zara mixed up. Okay, Zara says I passed in May. I wanted to come back and say thank you. You are so welcome. Thank you for coming back. I love when y'all come back even after you pass. Yes, we want to hear your story. Listen, 10 Too Tall, you need to send me an email. We might need to have you on the channel to talk about it, because let me put my email in the chat on TikTok so you can send me an email, 10 Too Tall, because I need to know 30 years. What in the world has changed since then? I just put my email in the chat, 10 Too Tall. She said yes, a lot of stories. Thank you guys for following my TikTok as well. Those of you that are following from the live. Shanika says I have test anxiety and I need help. So Shanika, I just talked to somebody else who said the same thing. I have on my channel, when you look up playlist, there is a playlist for study tips, and there's a video where I specifically discuss testing anxiety. So those of you who struggle with test taking, you have testing anxiety, make sure you check out that video. But one of the things that I do talk about in that video is creating a testing atmosphere. So act like you're going to take the test, put your phone away, have somebody to test you. Have somebody to maybe proctor you, act like you're really taking a test, put everything away, set a 3-hour timer, because that's how much time you get anyway for the CCMA, and just make it like you're really taking a test. That's going to put you in that atmosphere, and it's going to help you kind of face your fear, because you're going to act like you're really there. You want to let yourself feel those feelings, and that's going to just kind of help you out with, okay, allowing yourself to feel those feelings, but then working through them as well. But check out that video. Belinda says, I'm planning on taking my NHA Sunday next week. Everyone has been telling me to watch your videos. I'm currently doing my practicum in OBGYN. Okay, so all right, any advice? So I will tell you this. So I did my externship in GYN. That was my very first job, and I love GYN. And shout out to 10 Too Tall on TikTok. She's been in that field forever. So 10 Too Tall, if you have any advice to offer, please put that in the comments, and I'll make sure I share it for the young lady on Facebook. But I would say with externship in general, while you're on it, just make sure you're showing up every day on time, taking notes. I love GYN. I love the female anatomy in general. It's childbirth, pregnancy, all of it is a miracle. So I love it. But I would say, starting just in general advice, I would say just make sure you are updating your resume. So everything you're doing while you're there, make sure you are adding it to your resume. Even if you just do it one time, add it as soon as you do it. Okay. Make sure you're updating your resume. Ask your, if there's a nurse manager or whoever, make sure you're asking them for a reference, a letter, or at least to be able to use them as a reference. So if they can't do the letter for you, at least get their information so you can add them as a reference. And then with GYN, you're going to be doing a lot of course, procedures with the doctor. So being prepared for that, making sure everything is ready the day before or a couple of days before, because you got to make sure those instruments are clean. So keep an eye on the schedule, know what you have coming up, because the worst thing is to have something scheduled. I remember when I was in GYN, and I remember there was two sides. So there were some MAs that worked with the GYN doctors on that side, and then they were on the A side and we were on the B side. And I never forget that we had on the A side, they had to reschedule the patient because we didn't have enough instruments clean. So just things like that, being, making sure you're checking the schedule, having everything ready, familiarizing yourself with all of the procedures you may be assisting with. Let me see. 10 Too Tall says, I can train y'all virtually. You better follow 10 Too Tall on TikTok too. She says, yes, keep the faith and stay positive. Always go the extra mile in the clinic. It makes you rise up. Congratulations, Celeste. Says, I passed last year. Thank you so much. You are so welcome. Yes, Belinda, I'm on TikTok, medical assistant with Miss K. So the same name is everywhere. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, medical assistant with Miss K. I'm an MA in head and neck oncology, 9 years. Wow, should have been got certified. Wow. It's not too late, Jonte. You can get certified now. You just, oh, excuse me, guys. You can just, my refresher course is just for people like you, been in the field for a while and never got certified. Just helps you. It's literally a refresher. Thank you for helping me prep for my 6 weeks of training. You're welcome. I successfully transitioned into a podiatry office. Congratulations. Is that Tasty TV? Congratulations. Adriana says, I had really bad testing anxiety about it, but once I got there, I was ready from watching your videos and using the NHH practice test and study guide as well. Thank you for sharing it. So here's another person who, is open about having testing anxiety. Adriana says once she got there, she was ready. Sometimes once you, even leading up to it is the worst part, but then once you get there, it's fine. So I'm going to tell you guys something. So many of you guys don't know, but you guys know I'm an author. Outside of medical assistant, you guys know I'm an entrepreneur and an author, right? I'm also a speaker and I do spoken word poetry, right? So let me share something with you. Every time I'm about to start, as long as I've been doing it, I am so nervous. When I tell you guys I be sweating, my heart be beating super fast, like I'm so nervous. But then once I get there and I start, it gets better. Even going live, it's something about it that even though I do it all the time, there's always a nervousness. But like Adriana says, once you start it, you just, I don't know, it's something about getting ready. So sometimes it's just a build up to doing something. And then as soon as you start it, you just realize it's not as bad as what it felt like before. Ten2 Tall says, I've not been on TikTok long. Where did you put your email? Oh, I put it in the chat. Let me do it again. So look at the chat, 10-2 Tall. Let me put it one more time. Let me know that you got it. I'm putting it in the chat one more time. I just put it in the chat. Gabby, 10-2 Tall says, I'm also a licensed massage therapist and Texas notary as well. Y'all, 10-2 Tall has been a medical assistant for 30 years, and she says she's also a licensed massage therapist and a Texas notary as well. Y'all, if you've been watching me for a while, you guys know how big I am on having other things going on outside of your job. Let me just go left for 1 second. I'm gonna get back to the questions in a second. Let me just talk about this for 1 second. Yeah, I have posted multiple videos of how important it is to have multiple ways to make money, right? I don't care how much money you make, you need multiple ways of making money because nothing is ever guaranteed. COVID taught us that more than anything. Even some doctors' offices had shut down. I always felt like we would never go anywhere as medical assistants. But guess what? People, even in the medical field, lost their jobs. You should always have other ways of making money. So whatever other skills you have, you absolutely should be using them. I mentioned I'm an entrepreneur, have business outside of this. You absolutely should. You absolutely should. So absolutely. Thank you for sharing that 10-2 Tall. Whatever that looks like for you, you absolutely should have multiple ways of making money. Listen, Kanisha says, I listen to your study guide videos every day on my way home and I pass. Congratulations. Salita says, hey, Miss K, I'm planning on taking my exam next month. I'm a bit nervous. I work in urology and I want to do more work in OBGYN, but about to move to pulmonary. Oh, that sounds exciting. And it's normal to be nervous. It is normal to be nervous, Salita. So that's just literally what I was just addressing just now. So make sure you guys check out my study tips video. I talked about testing anxiety over there, and I just gave some tips in general. So make sure you guys on YouTube look at my channel, and it says playlists and study tips. And I talk about testing anxiety in one of the videos. So make sure you guys watch that. Belinda says, I did not think about adding it to my resume. Absolutely. When you guys are on externship, everything you do should be added to your resume. Even if you only do it one time, you did it. It's a skill now. You add it as a skill. Oh, y'all, I almost forgot. I have oh my goodness, I'm so terrible with promoting my stuff. Anybody that's trying to get a job, I have a bundle on my Stan Store. It has resume templates and it has, let me share the link for you guys. It has resume templates on it and cover letter template. It's the medical assistant resume starter kit. And I have some resume templates on there, cover letter template, some professional references template, also a follow-up email. And it's just a quick start to help you guys just get ready. The skills are already listed on the resume, but you want to add even more skills. Whatever skills you learn in school and anything that you do on externship, you want to add it. So let me add it to the comment section here. It's the resume starter kit, okay? Resume starter kit. But everything you do on externship, you should add it. Your externship should even be listed as a former position, even if it lasts only a month or 6 weeks or whatever, you should add it and just put in parentheses beside MA, just put externship. That's all. But you add everything you do. I just put that in the chat. And let me put it over here on TikTok as well. 10 Too Tall, have you thought about teaching medical assistants since you've been in the field for so long? Jasmine, hey Jasmine. The MA specialist, hey Jazz. Shout out to Jasmine on TikTok. Y'all need to go follow her too. NRCMA Jazz. NRCMA Jazz. Her name is Jasmine and she is the MA specialist. And speaking of resumes, I send a lot of people to her because she does resumes. So anybody who needs a professional resume done, check her out. If you're in my group on Facebook, you probably already seen her. Somebody said Jazz is great. Listen, I'm telling y'all, everybody that I send to Jazz has good things to say about her. You want a professional resume. Shout out to you, Jazz. Make sure you guys check her out. Her name on TikTok again is NRCMA Jazz, Jazz. And she does resumes, professional resumes. Let me see. Simply says, is that Simply Soraya says, hi, Miss K, I appreciate you too. I'm glad you're here. So she said Miss K is legit. Thank you, Soraya. You're welcome, Jazz. Absolutely. Everybody I send to you has good things to say. Absolutely. Let's see. You're welcome, Salitha. Like I said, it's normal to be nervous. It's okay. Just check out the study tips videos. Make sure you guys have the test plan for the test you're going to be taking, and really double down. Like the areas that you really struggle with, I want you guys to really focus on studying those areas because a lot of times people avoid those areas, but those are the areas where you need to really be studying, okay? The areas that you find yourself avoiding, you need to be going to actually focusing on that area and spending time in that area, and stop going to the areas that you already good in and making yourself feel good because you know it. No, go to the areas where you struggle with, the areas that you run from. Dosage calculations, EKG, phlebotomy. Stop running from it, run to it and study it. All right, guys, I've been on here almost an hour. Shout out to y'all for hanging in there on TikTok. Let me know, TikTok people, check in one more time for me before I end the live. If you are still here on TikTok, do me a favor one more time and just check in. Thank you for you guys that are sending things, hearts and stuff on TikTok and roses. Thank y'all so much. If you are not already, make sure y'all follow me on TikTok. Again, I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers over there on my MA page so I can start sharing clickable links in my bio. So if you haven't, check me out over there. YouTube, Facebook, make sure you guys like the video if you have not already. Shout out to my YouTube members. We will be going live on Thursday evenings. Thank you for the follow, Soraya. And good luck to Tori and anybody else that's about to be taking your test. Any last questions or anything? Let me wait a couple seconds, see if anybody else has anything before I end this. So TikTok, I'm going to go ahead and end this for you guys. And then YouTube and Facebook, I'm going to just wait a couple more minutes just to see if there's anything else over there that comes up. I don't know when the next time I'm going to be live on TikTok, but make sure you're following me so you can be notified, guys. All right, let me end this live on TikTok really quickly, and then I'll come back over to Facebook and YouTube. Okay. Close this TikTok live. Yeah, okay. All right, let's see. Anything else on Facebook or YouTube before we get up out of here? Let me know, guys. I'm giving it a couple more seconds. Amanda says, did I? Oh, wait a minute, Amanda. I don't think I shouted you out already. I passed my NHA CCMA because of your videos. Thank you so much. You are so welcome. Congratulations, Amanda. Andrea says, I just bought your refresh course. Also, I don't know why, Andrea, I don't know why I thought you already were in my course. Okay. Well, hopefully it's helpful to you, Andrea. I know we've talked before. Just make sure, I can't remember when you said you're taking your test. Remind me again when you're taking your test, and then I will tell you how I think you should go about it. Because I give the advice is usually different for people who are about to take it very soon versus somebody who has like a month or more. So remind me one more time when you're about to take your test. Hey, Justin. You helped me pass my CCMA exam. I studied your video so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You are so welcome. Congratulations. Hey, Ramsey. Or is it Rasme? Rasme? Am I saying it right? I'm sorry, guys. I feel like I'll be butchering y'all names. I'm so sorry. Okay, so Andrea, you're taking your test next Friday. So in this case, when you log into the refresher course, start with the module that you struggle with the most. Okay. So for people who have time, I usually tell them just start from module 1 and take your time to go through it. But since you're about to take your test next week, start from the module you struggle with the most. So whatever that is, that's where you go first. Okay. And then work your way back. So start with the one you struggle with the most, and then the next one, and then you know what I mean? Whatever your easy ones are, just kind of wait on that. Spend the most time in the beginning on the ones you struggle with the most. So you guys know when I'm telling you, so you guys know how when you're taking your test, I always say focus on the easy stuff first and then go to the hard stuff. It's complete opposite when you're studying. So when you're taking a test, you want to do the easy stuff and flag the hard stuff. But when you're studying, you want to start with the hard stuff first. Spend time on the hard stuff that you struggle with, and then the easy stuff, because that way, you know, the easy stuff you want to fly through. So when you're studying and you get the hard stuff out the way, you know, then you can kind of, okay, right before you take your test, just kind of go over the easy stuff. Okay, right? So wherever you struggle with the most, Andrea, go straight there. Oh, Rasme said that the second part was right. Okay, Rasme. Okay, all right, I said it right. Okay. Oh, Mari says, are there any tips for working in cardiology? Listen, absolutely. I love cardiology. So first of all, you're gonna be doing a lot of EKG. So make sure you look up some EKG videos if you haven't done any in a while, but make sure you are up to par on your manual blood pressure. So every office is different, so it's hard to say, but for the most part, in cardiology, you're gonna be doing manual blood pressures. And you may be doing stress tests, maybe assisting with stress tests. So in my company, the MAs are doing manual blood pressures while the patient is on the treadmill. So make sure you're up to par with that, because it's already hard enough to check blood pressure, let alone while a person is walking and running on the treadmill. So make sure you're up to par on that. And then look up some videos on how to, how to apply a Holter monitor and event monitor. Become familiar with those. Just make sure you're familiar with those. Cardiology, I love cardiology. I would say it's pretty easy. It could be a lot of work because you may be doing a lot of monitors and stuff, but I love cardiology. Like it's not a messy, field. And when it's not a messy, especially when I say that, like you're not dealing with a lot of blood and urine and stuff. So it's a busy practice. It could be a busy practice, but it's not messy. So you're not worrying about spills and stuff like that. Now it's possible you could be doing finger sticks if you guys are doing INR checks, but for the most part, it's a clean specialty. You're just doing EKGs all day and monitors. Rasmi is mentioning flagging the questions when you're taking tests. Thank you for giving advice on taking your test, Rasmi. And congratulations, Rasmi said I passed my CCMA and got a job. Congratulations. Flower Girl says MA for 7 years. We need to get certified this year. Listen, let me tell you guys something. If you have been an MA for a while and you are not certified, it is time, okay? It is time to get certified because guess what? Even if you don't need it right away, you're going to need it eventually. So thank you for sharing that, Flower Girl, because your job is going to eventually require it, or they may get acquired by a company who requires it, or your new job may require when you get another job. Get certified, guys. Get certified. And for those of you that's been in the field for a long time and you maybe forgot most of the information, like Flower Girl, I'm going to put my MA refresher course. This is for you. So if you have been out of field for a while, you need a refresher. This is what the MA refresher course is for. Do not get certified. You'll love it. Rasmi said, I want to work in cardiology. You'll love it. You'll love it. You're welcome, Mari. Do you have any T study? No, I don't. Rasmi says I'm doing pediatric and primary care since they want me to do cross training. Okay. That's good. That's good experience. Primary care is really good because then you get to do a little bit of everything. Pediatric, I don't think I would ever do pediatric again. I love kids. I love babies, but I feel like I paid my dues when it comes to pediatrics. I do not have the energy for it anymore. I do not have it in me anymore to do pediatrics. Y'all really got me. I've been on here over an hour and y'all still hanging in there. Shout out to y'all. Anybody still on here that been here since the beginning? I know. Oh, Andrea, definitely. Shout out to Andrea. Andrea been on here since the beginning. Shout out to you, Andrea. Anybody else that been on here since I first went live? Because Andrea, we've been hanging in there over. And what are you doing anyway, Andrea? It's Friday night. What are you doing? Let's see. Naomi says, I'm almost 50. Where or how do I start to prepare myself to study and learn? So, Naomi, let me know when you say where do you start? Let me know what you mean. Are you preparing to enter the field? Or are you saying to study for the test? So Naomi, do me a favor. Let me know what you mean. Are you preparing to get into the field? Are you about to start school? Just let me know and I can better answer your question. You are so welcome, Salita. You are so welcome, Andrea. And Salita says, you are such a blessing. Some people don't give back like you. Thank you so much for saying that, Salita. Thank you so much. My goal is to help you guys. I give back because the people that help me, I always feel like I want to be that person that I want to be the person that I wish I had. And I want to be the type of person that I was thankful for having as well. I had some people in my life that helped me along the way. And then there's also been times where I have been what I wish that I had, right? So I appreciate you for saying that. And shout out to you for still being on here hanging with me on a Friday night. Sama, there you go, Sama. I was literally just talking about you earlier, wasn't I, Andrea? Andrea, wasn't I literally just talking about Sama earlier? I was telling Sama, I was telling another person about you because they said that English is not their first language. And I told them that I was literally telling them about you because English is not, you shared that English is not your first language. And you recently passed, and I wanted them to know that they could do it too. Andrea said never pediatrics again. Yeah, I love the kids. I love the babies. I can't wait till my little baby come. My daughter's about to have a baby. I can't wait for the little baby to come, but I do not want to work with babies. It's just, so I would just say this. I loved it when I did it, but it was just a lot. It's just different. It's just different. First of all, you need patience in this field anyway, but you need even more. You deal with babies, the parents, and it's just a lot because you can't just run to the next patient. let's just say, like for example, when I was in pediatrics, this child in room 5 needs like 3 vaccines, and then room 3 also needs vaccines, and then I still got 2 kids in the waiting room that got to come back, right? It just was a lot of work for me, which was fine when I was younger, but now I'm too old. I can't do it no more. And then I got attached to my babies. So I worked in family practice, right? So my doctor was also an OBGYN. So there were literally, and I was there for 4 years at that particular practice. And there were mommies that I worked with while they were pregnant, and then they had their baby. And then I was the one giving the baby their injections every couple of months when they came in. And so I got attached to my babies. Okay, Flower Girl says I would like to go into endocrinology. Okay, or behavior health. Okay, whereas me say I want to try orthopedic. We were literally just talking about orthopedic earlier. Oh, Ebru is still here. Okay, so Ebru is still here. Ebru says, "Hey, Miss K, before MA, I completed CNA, passed the written test, but never took the skills test. Also, I did in-person training at a senior living. Or do you think I should mention this on my resume?" I think so. The only way. So this is the thing. The resume should be everything that is significant to your MA training. So if you've never had MA training before, absolutely. I mean, if you've never had an MA job before, absolutely add the CNA because it's transfer. Definitely they'll see you work with patients before, absolutely. But if you've had like multiple MA jobs already, that's all they need to see is your last few jobs. They don't need anything from way back in the day. So absolutely add it, especially if you don't have any MA experience. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think you're the one who just got offered a new job. So yeah, you absolutely add that because your CNA training is absolutely transferable to MA because you were taking vital signs, you were caring for patients, even though it's a different career, different scope, different duties, taking care of patients, vital signs, and maybe some other things you had to do, absolutely transfers. The only way I would say don't put it on there is if you already had a bunch of MA experience, because you guys don't want your resume to be too long either. So your resume should be a page long. The only time you should have 2 pages in your resume is if you've had significant experience as an MA. And I do mention that. Let me put it in the chat again. For anybody who is preparing to get a job, I have a resume starter kit, okay? And I talk about that in the kit. You should not have more than a page. The only way your resume should be 2 pages is if you've had significant MA experience. Like I've been in this field for 20 years, so my resume is 2 pages. There's no way I could fit everything on 1 page. But if you're just starting out, you don't have to have every single job you ever had, especially when it's not related to medical assistant. Okay. Bianca says, I bought the refresher course and has been such a big such a big help. Oh wow. Okay, I'm good. I'm happy to know that. She said, I'll take my test next Thursday. I'm happy to know there's been a help. Let me know if you need anything reset, Bianca. Flower Girl says, I love your video. Andrea says, how can we help and pay it forward? So how can we help you and pay it forward? By liking the video and subscribing. And you already do that, Andrea. So anybody else that wants to know how you can help me and pay it forward, just like the video and subscribe. Really, that's how you can help me and pay it forward, really. Thank you for asking that, Andrea. And then also how you can pay it forward is helping other people. So like Razmi, for an example, I love how Razmi is giving encouragement in the comments. I love when you guys chime in and give advice to other people. That's how you guys pay it forward. You just, reaching back and helping other people, Oh, okay. Naomi says I'm prepared to start to become an MA. Okay. I've worked as a front desk. Oh, so you're okay to become an MA. Okay. So you are about to start. So you're not going to school, Naomi? You're just going to take the certification because of your experience as front desk. Oh, okay. So Naomi, you may benefit from my MA refresher course. So my MA refresher course is for people who are fresh out of school and need a study material, need a study guide. It's an online study guide. It's for people who have been out of school for a while but been working in the field and they need a refresher. And it's also for people who had worked in the field as a medical assistant but never went to school and they want to get certified. So if that's you, you will be somebody who the refresher course is for. And I just linked it in the comments. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can pin it really quickly. And I was supposed to get off here in a few minutes. When I ended TikTok, I was supposed to get off here and I'm still live. Hold on, let me see. But it's a Friday night. Why not? I don't have to get up in the morning. I'm taking my daughter to get her hair done, but that's not until the evening. So let me see. I got some time. Let me pin the comment for anybody who needs it. Let me see. Why can't I pin it? It just makes me okay, there we go. So Naomi, I just pinned the comment, so you should see it. But this is for anybody who has been out of school for a while, need a refresher, never went to school but have worked, has the experience and needs certification, or you just fresh out of school and need to take your test. And thank you, Razmi, for my two jewels and my silver star. Thank you. Razmi said, wow, 20 years. Yeah. Salita says, phlebotomy told me peace is not for me. Listen, I get it, Salita. Listen, though, when you're doing babies on phlebotomy and you got to fill up those tubes, those little small tubes, and you getting drops at a time, listen, it can take forever. If you getting a heel stick and that thing is just dropping out one by one, or even a finger stick, and it's, listen, it is just different when you're dealing with babies and kids. Oh, and not to mention the kids that want to fight and scream and kick. Oh, yeah. You are absolutely right, Salita. Yeah. Yeah, I can. Pediatrics are for young people fresh out. Andrea said the parents are worse than, yeah. Yes. Razmi said that's more than ready, Naomi. Samaz says, I use your refresher course. It was very helpful in all your videos. Thank you so much. And I'm taking phlebotomy tests. Do you have any tips? So for phlebotomy, I do have one study video on there, but the tips are still the same. Make sure you have the test plan. But it's all still the same. Make sure you are watching the videos. Well, I don't have a lot of phlebotomy videos, but watching the videos. What else? When you're taking your test, flag your hard questions. So it's the same thing, honestly. Just make sure you're really going into the material. You have the study, you have the test plan, so that way you can see everything you need to know. Because think about the phlebotomy portion of the CCMA. It goes into even more detail. Okay, so you got to know not just the additives, but you got to know the department is going to. And they do a little terminology over there as well, a little EKG on the phlebotomy test as well. But just think about everything that was on the phlebotomy portion of the CCMA and times it by 100. Razmi says, I haven't done MA, so I just took the CCMA and because I have a college. Oh, okay, got you. Okay, so you did not, got you. So you didn't go to school. So you took the CCMA. Okay, got you. All right. Yeah, so your degree qualified you to take the test. Okay, and you got the job. I know that's right, Razmi. And actually, I want to be a PA. Absolutely, go for it. Please do. Razmi says, I want to be a PA, physician assistant. Absolutely, go for it. I had a friend I interviewed on the channel. She was an MA. She was one of my friends who I used to work with years ago. And then she worked as an MA. And actually, she was in the military and she never went to school for MA, but her experience in the military qualified her to work as an MA when she got out of the military. She worked as an MA for a little while, then she became an RN, and now she's a I said PA. She's not a PA, she's a nurse practitioner. Yeah, absolutely go for PA. One of the PAs that work at my company, he actually started as an MA as well. Thank you for 2 more Jews. Thank you so much. I don't know how you're sending those, but thank you so much. I appreciate the gifts. Thank you so much. The answers, they revise the question, so it won't be exact. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they won't when you exact I always say this, make sure you guys are not looking for the exact questions. Yeah, they will not be the exact questions. What if I had medical code and then CCMA? Are you saying what if you take that test then CCMA? Adriana personally, I wouldn't. I think you're the one who mentioned you were close. I think when you took the test, I wouldn't because then I just want to take you in another direction. I would go ahead and retake the CCMA. You got close, so you know the information. Medical coding is a whole other thing. I would do the CCMA, try that again, and then once you get that, then go for your coding certification. I wouldn't do that and then try CCMA again. Get that out, get the CCMA out the way, and then go into billing and coding. Let's see. If new to MA, is it best to update resume that reflects transferable skills such as admin? Absolutely, yes. That is a great question. The fan lady says, if new to MA with no experience, is it best to update resume that reflects transferable? Absolutely. I say this all the time. When you're brand new, you have to rely on those transferable skills. Your customer service, like if you worked at a store, a restaurant, any type of job where you're working with people, you absolutely have to rely on those transferable skills. Absolutely. That's a good question. Absolutely. And then also, any accomplishments that you had in school when you were going to school to become an MA, you want to lean in on that as well, because those instructors become your references, right? Your program director, your dean, they become your references. They can attest to the type of student you were, which is going to be, the most likely going to transfer to the type of employee you will be. So yeah, absolutely. That's good. Good question. Medical coding is for billing. So they normally go hand in hand. Sometimes, a biller is a biller and a coder is a coder. They often go hand in hand. So most of the time you hear billing and coding together, right? So it just, yeah, I wouldn't say medical coding. Oh yeah, medical coding is for billing. Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question at first. Is coding for billing purposes? If that's what you're asking, absolutely. So coding, diagnostic coding or diagnosis codes tell the insurance why the doctor did what they did. And then CPT coding tells the insurance company, it tells the insurance company why the doctor did what they did. And then the CPT code tells the insurance what they did. So yes, it is for billing. I'm sorry. I don't know why I read that as you asking, is coding for billing, like meaning like do they always go like, I don't know. I just misunderstood the question. I'm sorry. But yeah, coding is for billing purposes. That is the purpose of coding, if that's what you're asking. Mm-hmm. I took that as you were saying, are they always together? Andrea said you can't help. Oh yes, because I'm still on here. She said you can't help it. I love that you love what you do. Yeah. I'm about to get off here because now I'm starting to trip because I'm getting sleepy now. Yeah, Andrea said medical coding. So medical coding is for billing. Yes. Do you recommend? I'm just going to answer a couple more questions, guys, and I'm getting off here because I'm getting sleepy. Do you recommend family medicine for someone who's just certified? Yeah, absolutely. For somebody just starting out, because you get to do some of everything, Bianca, and you can kind of, when you do a little bit of everything, then you kind of know if you want to stay there or if you want to go into another specialty. Like, I realized in family practice, because I went from family practice to pediatrics. In family practice, I had a lot of kids. I liked it. But then I did pediatrics for a little while. I realized I don't want to do that. But then I also realized while doing family practice that I prefer older kids. Like I like adolescents and I like young people, So I felt like I wanted to work with adolescents. Like I tried to work in high school, but they wanted a nurse in the school. But, I just share that to say that you work in a family practice, just kind of realize where you want to be. So absolutely. And then you get that experience too. You could put all of that on your resume. because you were doing pediatrics in family medicine. You were, working with adults. You were helping with physicals. You were giving vaccines, probably drawing blood, doing EKG. You were dealing with urine, probably feces. Like you were doing everything in family practice. So absolutely. So Wasted, I got hired last week at the hospital. So Wasted is another one that's been on here since I've been on here. Let me tell y'all something. I've been on here hour and 25 minutes. So Wasted been here from the beginning, and also Andrea been here from the beginning. Shout out to them. So Wasted, I got hired last week at the hospital medical oncology clinic. Congratulations. So Wasted. Andrea says, last question, the CPR requires VNA. Absolutely. BLS specifically. So you have to be BLS certified through the AHA. And speaking of that, Andrea, I will be, for people who are getting recertified, I will be offering some virtual classes only for recertification, not for first timers, but I'll be offering some recertification classes soon. So guys, look out for that. Oh, Andrea. Oh, Adriana. So you're the one who took it today. Adriana, remind me, you're waiting for your score, right? You're waiting for your score. Oh, okay. See, Adrian, this is why I need to get off here. This is why I need to get off here because I'm misreading y'all questions. I'm misunderstanding because I'm getting sleepy. So, Adriana, so you took your test today. Okay, I got you mixed up with someone else who just took their test and they missed it by a couple of points. So I mistook you for them. So no, you're the one who took your test today and you're waiting. Sorry about that. And you already have your medical billing and coding. So you were asking about for your resume. Okay, got you. Okay. I thought you were asking if you should take the test and then, okay. Is that what you were asking? If you should list it? Then I'll just correct me, Adriana, really quickly before I end this. I just want to make sure I got it. Real quick, I'll wait for your comment before I end this. You're welcome, Samal. Help me understand real quick, Adriana, before I leave. And if you guys haven't already, there are 17 of you on here. Well, 16 now. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video. Thank you, guys. Let me know real quick, Adriana, what you were saying. You said I already have my medical coding and billing certification. I was asking for my resume. So I don't know if you're asking about how you should list it on your resume. So if you're asking about how you should list it, I would say it depends on what job you're going for. If you're going for a medical assistant job, absolutely list your, and then it depends on the order actually in which you got them. So if you got your coding first, that will go under the medical assistant actually. So everything is, you want to list everything from the most recent first, okay? And let me post two more things in the comments before I go. The resume starter kit, which helps you guys with stuff like that, knowing how to list everything. I'm going to list that one more time in the chat before I get out of here. You guys already have my MA refresher course link, so you have that. But anybody who needs a resume starter kit, I will put that here. I don't know if Adriana is still here. I wanted to wait a couple minutes for her to respond so I can make sure I understood her correctly. But if so, Adriana, I think you were asking about listing your things on a resume. If that's the case, then yes. If CCMA was the most recent thing you obtained, then yes, that will go on top, and then your billing and coding. Okay, so not billing and coding and then CCMA. It's the most recent, and then you work your way back. Okay. And that is for when you're listing like your schooling. If you're just listing like your certifications, okay, gotcha. So that's what you mean. If you're, and that's when it comes to like your schooling, your education. If you're just listing like your certifications, you could list CCMA first and your whichever one you're applying for. So if you were applying for a billing and coding position under your certification section, that's the only time where I would rearrange it based on what you're applying for. The education is always going to be most recent first, but then when it comes to like your certifications that you want to put on your resume, that's the only thing that I would say switch up based on what you're applying for. So if you're applying for an MA job, keep your CCMA on top. And your resume, guys, should be on a document that you can always update. So I always say keep it on your like your Google Drive. If you have Gmail, you have a Google Drive, and you want to update your resume constantly, depending on where you're applying. Yeah, definitely list it. Absolutely. Absolutely list it. List it. All right, guys. I've been live for an hour and a half. I've never been live this long. I'm sleepy. I will see y'all later. I know I'm not going to be live tomorrow because I'm sleeping in and I'm taking my daughter to get her hair done in the evening. And then I don't know what I'm doing after that. But then Sunday or Monday, I may go live. We'll see. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, I need to put my outro video back here. You too, family. You have a great night and great weekend as well. Y'all take care.